Hey guys, Brent Hull Build Show, talking about a pet peeve of mine today and something that is so easy to fix. It doesn't cost more, it doesn't take longer, but if you'll just do one thing, you'll improve the quality of your building today on the Build Show. Okay guys, what is the one thing, right? What is the thing we're talking about? I'm talking about building porches and where the columns go when you build your porch beam. Now, I've told you about this book, Get Your House Right, Mary and Casado. Great examples, really well drawn details, but we're gonna get into this porch column detail because it's something that guys screw up, and it's so easy if you just work and realize what the history of it is. Basically, if we're gonna build a porch beam, right? Here's my beam here. The column does not start, okay, the capital of the column does not start underneath here like this, okay? And a lot of you guys are building it so that there is no overhang here. Now, the traditional way of doing it is that the capital actually sticks out and then the neck of the column is right here. Now, why is that, okay? Well, the reason why is because historically, if you think about the tradition of building, is that they would have had a tree trunk that would have gone out under this beam, and then they would have taken a wood plate or something like that that would have protected the end grain of the wood and that connection between the beam and the column. So the capital of our column is really just this historic plate, okay? So think about that. Think about all this weight crushing down, okay? If this weight was crushing down here, and let's just say this is our beam coming down, we don't want a plate here with the full support actually in the neck of the column, because what happens is this ends up being a soft spot, a spot that can break. So it ends up being something that is confusing. You look at it and go, it doesn't have the same strength. What you want to do is you want to have the neck of the column, okay, the same width as the beam above. So that always pulls in and always helps you establish the size of the column and the size of the beam and how those connect. So quit putting the capital underneath the beam. It goes outside of it. The neck of the column supports the beam. Let's go look at an example. I want to show you how this works. All right, this is a very traditional house. We talked about it when we talked about the Georgian style, but this is a very typical porch. I want to show you a few things here that's happening that kind of makes this work, right? The first thing is that what I was talking about before is that the neck of the column, which is this top part, okay, which is right below the band, okay, is the same width as this beam above, okay? And that conveys that strength that makes it look like it's holding up the size properly. Now, I want to point out like 3 or 4 things that are happening on this porch which are key, okay? One, this column is bigger than the one above it, okay? This column has entasis, which means that the base of the column is thicker than the base of the top. It shrinks down, okay? About 1/3 of the way up, it kind of crouches in a little bit, and so you have this shape, this movement to the column. It is not a round cylinder, okay? 2, the relationship of this column to the one above, okay, is that the neck of the column actually also determines the width of that pedestal, okay, that's supporting the column on the next porch. And then in turn, that column, the neck of that column, is supporting and communicating the size of the pedestal at the very top. So there is a relationship between all of these pieces that speak to one another. They're unified, but there's a hierarchy, right? So if you can, don't have columns that are round tubes, okay? They need entasis, they need shape to them. If the neck of the column is the same width as the beam is supporting, that entablature, right? Then you have something that's communicating. Your capital, this part here, will always stick outside of the beam. It never sticks underneath the beam because that conveys better strength. If you can just get that thing right, guys, you will change the quality of your building and it will look like you really know what you're doing when it comes to traditional building details. Understanding that traditional and that classical building system really helps you build beautiful things. There are rules there and there's ways of building that help your houses look better, right? If you can get one thing right, the beam, the neck of your column determines the width of the beam above. Get that right and it changes the way you're building. Hey guys, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff we're doing there. Also sign up for the newsletter. I'm Brent Hull. Thanks for watching.